Hi there, welcome to another Team Clueless Battle Report. There's me here today, and then we have my usual mucker over there, Nick, and Andy is joining us again. We are playing a game called Ritual Contest, and we're all playing forces of the demonic gods. Although nobody is playing Slaanesh today.
Nobody wants to.
Yeah, nobody wants to. She may turn up and interrupt our party later on. So you can see the table here. We have laid out amongst us. Sorry for the sunlight beaming in. It is strangely sunny here in Luton today. We have in the centre of the table a ritual platform. That is the main thing we're fighting over today. But there are also some evil demonic archers around. We have one here at this end of the table. One over there. One there. And at the end there we have another little ritual site there. So the way the game is going to work is a 3-player game. You may have seen our 3-player rules before. There's weird setup rules where trigonometry was involved. We've all chosen our setup zone. So Nick got to choose his first setup zone. He is over here. He is playing Khorne. He has got a red peg. Andy chose setup zone second, so he has chosen here. You can guess which Chaos God he is following. That's right, he is following Nurgle. And over here I have the yellow peg, meaning Tzeentch? Yes, I didn't have a blue peg, folks. So that is our setup zones. We get to set up anywhere within 18 inches of our pegs. That is our deployment zones. There's also rules of you're not allowed to set up within 24 of an opposing model or stuff like that, just to stop first turn charges in the majority and to keep the game kind of like regulation. Then we shall go in backwards order. So because I chose my last setup zone, I deploy first, I go first, and then it goes around the table. Andy will deploy second, Nick will deploy third, and that will be our turn order. How the game works. So this game is going to be a duel between 3 demon princes. They have gathered their forces together and are attempting to appease their gods by slaughtering the other servants of the other gods and taking the giant ritual platform dedicated to chaos in the centre of the table. Various ways of gaining victory points, as always. So you can gain 2 victory points if you control the platform at the end of your turn. Control, instead of measuring 3 inches to the platform, it's anything on top. Counts towards going control, and as usual objective secured units count first, and then its number of models. So 2 victory points for controlling that. At some point in the game, if nobody has controlled this for a length of time, a Keeper of Secrets will appear, because Slaanesh gets peed off with the other gods and sends her mightiest minion to come and wreck house. She will follow the hunted monster rules that Nick and I have perfected over many years. Basically, it's an AI monster control method, and the Keeper will roam around the table killing stuff. If we manage to kill that Keeper, the person that dealt the final wound gains 2 victory points. If we manage to kill one of our opponent's demon princes, the leader of their army, their warlord, then we get a victory point for that. And I'm going to have to quickly take a sneak peek over my shoulder to see what else there was. Yes.
Rituals.
If at the start of your turn you control one of these, or that one at the end, then you gain a victory point there. So there you need to kind of hold them throughout an opposing turns and you gain victory points. If you control all 4, then you get in 4 victory points. Okay, so just to remind you. Yeah, I'll go through that in a sec. So there's this one here, hold at the end of your turn for victory points. These ones hold at the beginning of your turn for victory points, not including the first turn. There are 2 special rules. So if you control this at the start of your turn, you manage to hold off all the other demonic forces, you get to summon a demon unit. So as usual, you roll 3d6, you don't need a character there, you just need to control it, and you get to summon a unit from my vast demon collection, and it will appear and fight for you. If you control it with your demon prince, you get to roll 4d6, so you've got a better chance of getting something decent. If you control that at the start of your turn with your demon prince, he can empower himself, regaining d3 wounds and getting +1 strength and toughness. The game ends, the game turn, after 2 demon princes have been killed. So when 2 of the rivals have been killed, the final one will fight on for a little bit and then we'll see which person comes out on top. Okay, let's go through the armies. And I shall just spin round. Okay, so I made up all the armies there because they're all out of my collection, so it's probably easier if I go through them. So we have here a Nurgle army led by this disgusting blob here of a demon prince. This is actually more or less a complete Death Guard force. So it's led by a demon prince. We have Typhus there. We have 3 Death Shroud Terminator bodyguards. We have a unit of Plague Zombies. We have 2 Blight drones. We have a Blight Hauler. We have 3 squads of Plague Marines. One is 10 with close combat weapons, including flails and melter guns. And one here which has Blight launchers, and one at that which has plasma guns. That is the Nurgle portion. We move on to Khorne. Now, because partly the collections we're using and such. We are using slightly mixed armies, but we're not stopping them gaining access to certain of their special powers for doing so. So this is the Khorne portion. It is led by this lovely bony brute here of Demon Prince. He's got the giant relic Demon Axe. We have a Bloodthirster. We have 2 small squads of 10 Bloodletters. This is what I mean about the mixed force. We have a unit of World Eaters Berserkers in the troop slot there. So they're pretty good. They've got a banner and there are 13 of them. We have 6 Juggernauts of Khorne, or what are they called now?
Blood Crushers.
Blood Crushers. Good memory, Nick. We have a Skull Cannon of Khorne. We have a World Eaters Dreadnought there, who is undergoing a paint change at the moment. And lastly, we have 10 Fleshhounds. Moving on to the Tzeentch, who are similarly a mixed bag. We have a Thousand Suns Demon Prince leading the force there. He is backed up by Ahriman, the favoured son of Magnus. Then we have Fate Weaver, Nick's favourite ever 40k model. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, I love Fate Weaver.
We have a unit of Scarab Occult Terminators. We have 3 units of Horrors of mixed brim pink and blue. We have an Exalted Flamer down there. We have 5 Flamers, 6 Screamers, and lastly a Soul Grinder. And that is what we've got. Obviously, I'm not going to go through psychic powers because I've got hundreds of them. Let's see how we get on. Okay, so you join us after we have set up. I've set up first, and then I'm going first, then followed by Andy, followed by Nick. So let's have a quick look down here at my setup. So my peg was down here, you might remember. So I've set up in a bit of a semicircle around that. I plan to hold this and then try and make a push for the centre, because that's where the victory points are. But I'm going to need to blow the enemy away before I get there, because they're much better in close combat than me. So I've got my Soul Grinder there. I've got all my Horrors, because they're my most throwaway units, around the front. Fate Weaver on the side here, ready to charge at Nick, mainly for intimidation purposes because he hates him. Backed up by a load of Screamers. Flamers in the centre with Ahriman, not sure where they're going. And Demon Prince, nicely safe at the back. I say safe, I've just remembered that Andy has his Terminators in Deep Strike, so I might need to bring something in behind to stop him doing that. I have left my Terminators in Deep Strike as well. So Andy, what have you got over here? Let's see, we've got Plague Marines down here. Big line of Poxwalkers, Demon Prince in the centre with 2 Bloat Drones, and a load of Plague Marines over there using the cover aura from the little Blight Hauler to protect them, and Typhus there backing up the zombies. Nick just has a horde of red killy stuff with this Hellbrute, which is really standing out as not being red. What have we got?
Hellbrute, Blood Crushers, Berserkers behind him, one's facing the wrong way round.
Coward! Khorne will get you.
Bloodletters behind him with Skull Cannon, Demon Prince, Bloodthirster with Demon Prince behind, Fleshhounds and some more Bloodletters over there. Mostly facing that way.
Yeah, you may look at the board and think, why aren't they using the other half of the board? The way the free player setup works with choosing your deployment, there isn't a fair way to do setup, so it is player determined. The first player, who was Nick, has the most control over where the other pegs go. So because Nick went there, Andy went over there because he also wanted to be near the centre thing, meaning I had to either choose this end or that end because they were the only spots far enough away. So whichever I'd chosen, a part of the table will be unused. So it's kind of given, certainly Nick, who is a bit further this way, free reign on this, which is an objective point. So hopefully Andy will go over there and get him, or our deep strikers might choose to do that. Who knows? Okay, we'll come back after either my first turn or the whole first battle round. We'll see what we decide. Okay, so it's end of Tzeentch turn 1. What did I do? So because they're much better in close combat than me, I didn't want to run forwards, even though I need to go and get that, but this turn wasn't the turn. So I pressed forward a little bit, still got my screen of Horrors around me. I've got my 2 flying units, the Screamers and the Flamers. There's a kind of line behind so I can jump forwards in future turns and hurt stuff. Firing didn't really do much. I was out of range of my pink Horrors. The Soul Grinder fired very ineffectually over at the Bloat Drone and the Dreadnought. Didn't do anything. Psychic Phase, I managed to kill 2 Poxwalkers. Yeah, go me. And I cast a couple of powers with Fate Weaver, one of which was Treason of Tzeentch, which I got off over here. Nick attempted to deny it with a Khorne stratagem that he's got for this game, which is spend a command point 4+ deny a power. Failed to do that, but then I failed the leadership role to take over the Dreadnought. And that would have been really good if I'd done so, but failed it. Then I used Doombolt from Fate Weaver over there and halved the movement and dealt a mortal wound to the Juggernaut. So slowing them down a little bit, which is good. And that was basically all I did on my turn. Not the most auspicious of... Okay, Andy's turn 1. Not a lot happened, did it, Andy?
No, I managed to get these boys their toughness up. Did some shooting. Didn't actually. I think I killed.
You killed a pink horror.
A pink horror.
Yep.
One pink horror. Shot at Nick's stuff, the flesh hounds and the bloodthirster, and missed.
And you just moved, similar to me. You moved up into
shuffled
position.
Forward a little bit. Didn't want to actually go too close.
We're both scared of.
We're going to let the Khorne boys go first,
Yeah,
and then
the red guys in the corner.
what's left.
Okay, let's see what Nick can actually do.
End of Khorne turn 1, and Khorne Berserkers, everything's just moved up. The Bloodletters have only moved up slowly because of the psychic power. Hellbrute and Skull Cannon stayed where it was. Hellbrute fired at Fate Weaver. Fate Weaver made its save. But the Skull Cannon has put 4 wounds down on this thing. And as I say, everything's literally just moved up. Demon Prince has gone over to here. So if he's there at the start of my next turn, I get +1 strength, +1 toughness.
And heal D3 wounds with your Demon Prince.
And I've surrounded him by obviously a couple other units, so they can't be deep struck and shot and gone in. The Bloodthirster just charged straight up onto the ritual platform, going, "Oh crap! Now I'm a target." But we will see if he survives.
But you score 2 victory points.
Woohoo! I'm winning.
Me.
So let's see how turn 2 goes for everyone.
So we get to the end of Tzeentch turn 2. A bit more happened, but it was a pretty limp, lackluster turn from myself this turn. So again, I pushed forward a little bit. My pinks moved into range of shooting the brimstone, the zombies over there, the Poxwalkers. I'd cast the psychic power from Fate Weaver to give them +1 to wound. They killed a Poxwalker, I think. Yeah, there's one Poxwalker dead there. Well done, me. The Soul Grinder decided that these Plague Marines are over there with their Blight Launchers, which are a pretty good weapon against me. So I fired at them with everything I had. I killed a Plague Marine. Go me. So Nick had audaciously thrown his Bloodthirster up onto the summoning platform, which if you control at the end of your turn, you gain 2 victory points. And if you control her still at the start of your turn, you get to summon a 3 unit, which is super powerful. So we don't want that happening. So I sent my Screamers forward and also moved up my Pink Horrors down here so they could take shots. They fired up, did 1 wound to him. Nice. The Flamers were going to be out of range, so they stood back here. But Aramon reached out with his Psychic Might and removed his invulnerable save using Death Hex. So no invulnerable save for him. I then fired with my AP -4 big shot from my Flamer back here, my Exalted Flamer. Managed to deal only 4 wounds, which was okay, around average I suppose. I then charged in with my Screamers, who again with decent AP attacks, surrounded him and bit him a lot. I did him 6 more wounds. So he's taken how many total? 9?
Taken 9.
So he's on 9 remaining, which means he is slightly, well, he's on 9 remaining, which I think means he might have only taken 7 or something like that. We'll find out.
Okay.
But he's got 9 left. I think he might start with 18 actually, which means he isn't under half yet, which is a bit annoying, meaning he attacked back and killed 2 of my Screamers. But I control the top of the objective because control is done number of models. So I've gained 2 victory points this turn, and we all know what points mean.
Death to the Screamers.
Prizes. Nick. Okay, what else happened? Fate Weaver did the same trick as last time. He moved up a little bit. He's got a nice screen of brimstones in front of him, which is nice because Nick doesn't have many ranged weapons to take them out with. He then reached out with his own Psychic Might and took over the mind of the Hellbrute. This time Nick decided, nah, I'm not going to try and deny that with a command point, so I took over his mind. He was already locked in combat with both the Blood Crushers and the Berserkers, meaning he didn't get to shoot, but he did get to attack in close combat. Utterly failed. Did 1 wound to a single Blood Crusher. Pathetic. Fate Weaver's other powers went off.
He took 1 wound in return.
It did. Fate Weaver smited the Blood Crushers, hoping for a D6. No, only got a D3 off. Did 1 wound to a Blood Crusher. That's the story. What else happened? Over here, I deep struck in my 5 Terminators. They tried to cast Psychic Power, failed, and then fired all of their massive rapid-fire guns into the Toughness 3 Bloodletters, killed 5 of them, including 1 from morale loss. It was a pretty poor turn overall, but I hold out hope that Andy is going to charge in, beat up all the Khorne stuff, and then I can mop him up on my next turn and be home in time for tea. Let's see what happens with the Nurgle.
You're already at home and playing at yours.
Ah, well, I'll definitely be home in time for tea then.
shuffled forward a little bit more. Shooting wise, shot up into the combat that was going on there.
So just to tell people our rules, when you fire into a combat that doesn't involve you, you roll a dice. On a 1-2 you completely miss because they're running around in melee. On a 3-4 you hit your intended target, but on a 5-6 you hit a unit that's in combat with your intended target. So
firing into combat, aiming at the target, which was 3 times the size of the rest of it, fighting and managed to hit the unintended target.
Yeah, you'll notice I'm not there.
Yeah, basically wiped the unit out.
So took 3 more wounds off the back.
Freed the Bloodthirster up for his movement.
That was not your plan, was it?
That was not my intended plan. However, I have now taken control of.
Yeah, and you've got a troop unit. Their objective secured. So Nick and I didn't have objective secured units up there, so Andy thoroughly has control of that with more models and objectives secured.
Again, on my movement, I brought in my Terminators on the hill with the intention
just
to
here.
charge the Demon Prince, which they succeeded.
10-inch charge, got there though, didn't you?
On them, got them in there and fell miserably. Demon Prince turned round and killed the lot. So,
yeah, that was highly unlikely.
Yes. Other charge was to move the Plague Marines in against the Pinkies.
Yep.
Took them on, battered a few of them.
Yeah, you killed 5 Pinkies this turn.
Killed 5 Pinkies. They successfully passed their morale, so they stayed in combat.
Yeah,
with my Marines.
I didn't move in because I wanted to lose these 2 to morale, so I wouldn't be locked in combat, but that didn't work.
And shooting into the Bloodletters.
I lost another 2.
Just managed to kill 2. And
You did shoot at these.
shot at the Juggers and failed miserably.
Those Juggers are immortal.
They are horrible.
Okay, so Nick's turn next. I think he's going to have a good one.
Right, this is the end of Khorne turn 2. So it's the end of the whole round 2. What happened? We moved up the Khorne Berserkers here and we charged into the little Brimstones. They're the ones after the things. But we charged Fate Weaver at the same time. So we finished the Brimstones in the first round of combat. And the Khorne Berserkers get a second round after that. So we charged into Fate Weaver. And we've done 6 wounds to Fate Weaver. Took 2 back in return. Unfortunately, I fear Fate Weaver leaving combat and this large lot of flamers around here to burn my Berserkers. Bloodletters here have moved up onto the ritual place there for me. The Hellbrute and the Skull Cannon both stood still and fired at this bloat drone here and failed to do anything to it whatsoever.
There was
The Bloodletters have stayed there on the ritual place. I don't think they're going to be there by my next turn, but there's a chance. The Demon Prince and Flesh Hounds, when charging into the Terminators, we've taken out 2 of their number and we've lost 1 Flesh Hound in return. The Bloodthirster, obviously freed from combat from Andy taking out the Screamers for me in his turn, thank God for that. Went into the zombies, into the Poxwalkers. I only took 2 out of their number.
You took more out with your whip.
I took 3 out with my whip and then 2 out in combat. So reduced their numbers down slightly because they are obviously troop secure for Andy. So no matter what we put up here, really, unless it's troop choices, Andy will hold this.
That zombie unit is golden for Andy.
The Juggernauts weren't going to make it up on top of the platform to charge into anything, but they went round, charged into Andy's bigger unit of Marines here and wiped them out. All of them.
You picked up a giant bucket of dice and just threw it at them, didn't you?
Yeah, with Andy, I didn't even finish all my attacks. It's just the guys on top actually attacked. The Juggernauts didn't. So that's what happened in my turn. But
we have had 3 turns after the first game round of nobody summoning anything. Nobody's managed to control the platform. So Slaanesh is intervening. Okay, it's not as big and impressive as the new Slaanesh model, but it is nicely painted. So that arrives and it follows the Monster Hunter rules, which means it will attack every one of the combat phases in every player turn. It moves towards anything that's hurt it during that turn and will then attack and charge and murder stuff. We get 2 victory points for killing it, which could be game-changing at this point.
It could be, right. And scores on the doors at the end of round 2.
Round 2. So I have 3 victory points. Andy has 3 victory points, and Nick has 4 because he had 2 archers this turn. But Andy still retains control of that, and if we can't take it off him, then he's going to summon a unit in, and he's still controlling an archer.
So start of your turn, you're actually not gaining any victory points.
I'm not, no, because look what Andy did. He's got his dude down here who's objective secured, and my Demon Prince is not. So I'm getting no VPs at the minute, so I need to get my finger out.
Right, let's see how round 3 goes.
End of Tzeentch, turn 3. So what did I do this turn? I really felt I needed to get this back because I didn't gain a victory point from the start of the turn. And they are the lifeblood of winning this game, I feel. So I charged in with my Soul Grinder. Long story short, I killed 1 Chaos Plague Marine. He is still within 3 inches. I am not, and he's going to gain an extra VP from that one on my turn. I moved up my pink and blue horror squad up here. Their objectives secured. I have 10 of them up there. And he has 9 objective secured models up there. So I gain control of it this turn. They're skirting outside an inch of the Bloodthirst because they don't want to go into close combat with him. So they gave me 2 victory points for controlling that at the end of my turn. Fate Weaver retreated from combat, cast some psychic powers. We basically concentrated on the Bloodletters here and the Berserkers down here. With Fate Weaver, my Demon Prince warp-timed himself over there. I had Flamers there, an Exalted Flamer here, and Araman all in combat. I did all my shooting. Nick was rolling like a god for saves this turn. And I didn't manage to wipe either of them out. And then he rolled really well on leadership as well. And they both lost 1 member each, which was really good for Nick because he still has objective secured on this, which is not clever for me. But then, after that, wasn't so best. But then we remembered that the Keeper of Secrets had arrived last turn. Now they follow a little flowchart. If they get damaged during a turn, then they will run towards the thing that damaged them. I didn't shoot it because I didn't want to fight the bastard. So it rolled randomly to see where it moves. So it moved sideways a bit down to here. And then it charges and attacks the closest enemy. Now I was sitting here thinking I'd forgotten about it. My Demon Prince was 6 inches away. But I hadn't seen that Nick had a Blood Crusher just under the lip there, which was 5.5 inches away. So the Keeper of Secrets ran up to the full 6-man Blood Crusher unit, annihilated 5 of them in combat, took a wound back, and then the other one failed its leadership and was off. So it wiped out all the Blood Crushers this turn. How do you feel about that, Nick?
Not very clever because they were, well, as I said, there was a Demon Prince of Nurgle which wasn't going to be there, but they could have jumped up onto the platform and
yeah, it's not good, is it?
taking out bits on the platform.
Okay, so that was my turn. Let's move on to Andy.
Okay, my turn. Moved my Demon Prince over here to charge the Soul Grinder to support my
down in here.
Charged in heroically, did nothing on the Soul Grinder.
No, you'd buff yourself up with psychic powers, didn't help.
Yes, I did everything I could to make sure I did it, and nothing happened. And you did 2 on me.
It looked really good. I did you 3d6 damage, but your Warlord trait reduces each of those by 1. I even used a command point to get more, and then you pass loads of your disgustingly resilience, and I did 2 damage back.
Yeah. Plague Marines against the Pinkies was a total wash, total waste of time.
But importantly, you are still controlling this bloody objective.
The objective, which is the key to the whole battle.
Yeah.
On the big plus, the
Blade
drones flew over and toasted the pink and blues that were up on
all of them gone in a wash of bile flame.
giving me control of the platform again, and next turn, if I'm in control, I believe I can summon.
And this combat up here, what was the wound count? Bloodthirster versus Poxwalker.
The Glorious Bloodthirster did 2.
Nice.
And I think the Poxwalkers did, was it
3?
3 back.
Yeah, so
But they did 3 to me first, so I only had 2 attacks.
That
so
is
both
true.
my attacks killed.
over here, shooting wise, I fired my Space Marines into the 3 that were on there. The 3
denying Nick an objective.
Take the objective off him. Fired into the combat over there and did nothing.
Aimed at the Demon Prince, hit the Bloodletters.
Yep.
Did nothing.
Did nothing.
Okay,
and,
so
the Keeper, she
the Keeper.
She came across here. Nearest unit was my Poxwalkers.
6
She
inches
needed to get
away.
6, and Nick gloriously rolled 5
and that thing could have changed the battle because that could go through that whole unit of Poxwalkers,
with her eyes closed.
but didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And if she'd done
Andy.
that, I could have been in control of the platform at the start of my turn.
Yeah, Andy at the end of his turn is up to 7 VP.
Yeah.
Nick starts his turn on 4. Let's see what he does.
So we're at the end of round 3, so Khorne have gone. What happened in my turn? The Skull Cannon tried firing at Flamers, did a wound to them. The Hellbrute come here, fired at Fate Weaver, just because I got taunted and spiked, and yes, Fate Weaver's there. Didn't do anything to him. But the Hellbrute come charging into the Demon Prince and got 2 wounds through.
Yep.
D3. We killed that Demon Prince.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I re-rolled. I had 3+ invuln. Re-rolled. Dead.
And with that, I've managed to consolidate into the flamers. So 2 flamers come around here. They did take out one of the bloodletters that was there, but it was better than having 5 flamers burn the 2.
That's it. And you got a victory point at the start of your turn for controlling that arch, which
Yep.
is still control, and a victory point for killing the demon prince. So that's
So-
notched you up. We'll go through your
Yep.
scores in a minute.
Over here, the Araman interrupted to attack and managed to take out 2 of the 3 berserkers that was left. So I'm left with my champion with a power fist that just smacked Araman in the face and took him out.
Yeah.
Took no wounds back from the Exalted Flamer and tried doing some wounds to this, but I got wounds through.
He's in a charmed life.
Saves
that
got
dude.
made. I know which combat we haven't done yet.
Yep.
Close combat. The Bloodthirster hasn't done his actual close combat attack.
Yeah. We'll
But-
come back and do that in a minute.
Over here, the hounds have consolidated round onto this objective again. The Demon Prince went flying off, took out the Blight Crawler, moved towards the Marines. But the Keeper of Secret went, "Ooh, Demon Prince!" Dum 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 dum. Come walking over here, as with the wobbly camera, that's how I did it. Charged into the Bloodthirster. I am left on
To the
2
demon prince.
Demon Prince even. I am left on 2 wounds.
Yeah.
And did nothing back whatsoever. So, that will attack in the Tzeentch turn, even though it's not in there. Could finish the Bloodthirster off,
Yeah.
which
the
would
demon
still
prince off.
Demon Prince off. I keep thinking Bloodthirster. Sorry, but we'd still play to round 5 because we play to the round after that, don't we?
We do, yes.
So yes, it's still
We'll see what the scores are at the end of round 4.
yeah. So
The scores at the minute are myself. I have 5, but I'm not in control of anything, which is not good. I've just failed to control here.
over
And
there,
just failed to control down here.
and
really
that's down
bad.
there.
Andy is on 7 and still controls 2.
He controls that one, and is still on the platform.
Yeah, so Andy is rocking away with this, and Nick has 6, so not bad. But if he loses his demon prince, he's in trouble because he's going to have so few units left.
Yeah, at the moment I have 1 Berserker, 1 Bloodletter, Hellbrute. I've got the Hounds and just the Demon Prince.
And the worst thing is,
And my Skull Cannon over here, but that's.
and the worst thing is, if Andy still controls that, he's going to summon on his turn as well.
Well, you better stop him then.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, so it's end of Tzeentch turn 4. What happened here? Down here was reasonable. I backed out. Nick, I think, had forgotten that both my Flamers and my Exalted Flamer are flyers. So they backed out of combat. 1 Flamer shot down the Power Fist Khorne Berserker. And then all of them ganged up, firing in, killing the Bloodletter that was left there. And the rest of their fire took the Hellbrute down to a single wound. Going for broke, because Andy was well ahead of us and we needed to stop him gaining more victory points. So Fate Weaver flew up here and attempted to use all of his mortal wound powers to take out the little things, the Poxwalkers. Unfortunately, I shot them with the first mortal wound power. Andy removed them correctly. So then when I went to smite, the closest model was actually the Bloodthirster. So I then took out I dealt the Bloodthirster 1 wound. So then my only option remaining was to cast Gateway, Infernal Gateway, which deals D3 mortal wounds to the closest enemy, which was the Bloodthirster, but then it deals D3 to everything close by as well, including Fate Weaver himself. So I got that off, killed the Bloodthirster, dealt myself 3 wounds, killed a Poxy Poxwalker. That 3 wounds had unfortunately reduced me down a profile, meaning when I charged in, I only killed another Poxwalker, meaning that Andy still controls up here, which we'll get back to in a minute. Down here, I thought I had a real good chance of killing his Demon Prince, which is worth VPs, but no. I hit him a load, wounded him a load, but his Warlord trait for -1 damage, combined with all his saves and his disgustingly resilient, he used a command point, meant he's on 2 wounds left, and Andy is still controlling this objective down here, because he is within 3 inches, I have 1 dude left. With both objectives secured, he's holding that. Then over here, Nick had his Demon Prince. The Keeper was in combat with him. Nick gets to attack first. Nick took the Keeper Secrets from 15 down to 3 wounds with his big axe of Khorne. The Keeper Secrets murdered him back.
Yeah, my last 2 wounds, there was no chances.
There is none. So, at the end of my turn, the scores on the doors are me on 5, Andy on 7, Nick on 6. But we've decided to call the game at that point for various reasons that we'll go through. Firstly, Andy controls this and this, which is 2 more victory points.
Puts him up to 9.
But mainly because he controls the summoning circle for the first time this game. He's controlled it throughout this turn, so he is going to get to summon on his turn. Roll 3d6 for us, Andy. We'll just do a quick example of what would happen. So you've rolled an 11. So I think a Soul Grinder is what you might be able to summon there, or you could summon 20 Plague Bearers, which are objective secured. So Andy is controlling that for the rest of the game. No, that's slightly more. That's like 15. So Andy would summon there, giving him control of that, and the rest of us, we just don't have enough models left. Because Andy's got these down here.
In theory, on Andy's turn, start of Andy's turn, he goes up to 9 VPs.
Yep.
He's going to control that, puts him up to 10, 11 VPs.
And he's going to kill the
that.
keeper.
It's 12, 13 VPs.
Yep.
I'm behind him on 6 at the start of my turn.
And I'm nowhere near.
7. And I've only got 2 units left,
so
no chance.
We concede. Well done, Andy. 2 games of 40k back in, 2 victories.
We're really reeling him into
Yeah, this is it. This is our plan.
I'm very, very worried. So is my bank manager.
Okay, that was a good game though. I enjoyed that.
Good, yeah.
That was bloody. Yeah, really enjoyed that. Again, I think a good-looking table really helps to make a good game. The armies aren't quite fully painted.
It's very obviously.
It was very open until that last
Yeah,
round.
it was. Yeah, yeah. I was pleased with the rules for that. 3 players are hard to balance.
I mean, the Bloodthirster literally jumped up first turn, and it's taken all that time to actually. He's been into combat with Poxwalls going. Dead.
Yeah, lots of our units kind of did what we wanted them to do.
Yeah.
Andy's were so resilient, and the bloody Poxwalkers.
Yeah.
20 of them.
The Keeper of Secrets changed my turn because the 2 things it charged was my Juggernaut.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, completely.
And the Demon Prince.
Those Juggers were a massive force that we were struggling to deal with.
Could have come up and they could have taken over.
Yeah. Alas, not to be, Nick. Okay. Well, we shall call it there. So thanks for watching, folks. We shall see you next time.